Hey kids, happy Easter. Tonight we have a very special bedtime story, The Garden, the Curtain, and the Cross. And so let's check it out on this special Easter night. This is going to have lots of beautiful pictures in it. See this one right here? Wow. Okay. A very long time ago, right here in this world, there was a garden. In the garden, everything was wonderful. The world was full of laughing and playing and smiling and fun. And there was nothing bad ever. There was nothing sad ever. The best of all. God was there. Hello, Adam and Eve. Hello, Eve. He made it all. He was in charge of it all, and he loved it all. People could see God, and people could speak to God, and people could enjoy being with God. Eve, God's here. He wants to walk with us again. How cool is that? Yay! I bet it's going to be even more amazing than yesterday. And it was wonderful to live with God, but then, one day, the people did a terrible thing. They decided they didn't want to do what God said anymore. They decided they wanted a world without God in charge. God calls this sin, and sin spoils everything. So sin has no place in God's wonderful garden. God said to the people, you can't live with me in my garden anymore. And then he sent them out. Look how sad they are. That is so sad. Sin is sad. To show the people that they had to stay outside, God put some warrior angels in front of the garden. The angels were like a big keep out sign. Look at their swords. They look like lightsabers. Now things were sometimes bad and people were sometimes sad. But people still kept sinning because they didn't want God to be in charge. And so no one could come into God's wonderful place. God said, because of your sin, you cannot come back. God warned people to remember. It is wonderful to live with him. Because of your sin, though, you can't come in. So he told his people to build a special building. This was called, do you know what this is called, girls? The temple. The temple where he would live. And in the middle of the temple was the most wonderful place in the world, the place where God was, with nothing bad and nothing sad, and it was very exciting. But then God told people to put a big curtain around this wonderful, wonderful place. The curtain had pictures of warrior angels on it. It was a big keep out sign, just like the garden. For hundreds of years, the temple curtain reminded people that God said, it's wonderful to live with me, but because of your sin, you can't come in. Hundreds of summers and hundreds of winters passed, and the keep out curtain stayed in the temple. Then one day, God, the Son, came to live in this world as a person. He was called Jesus. See the little baby, oh, so cute. Jesus always did what God said. Jesus never sinned. Look how kind he's being to that other kid. Jesus visited the temple where the big keep out curtain hung. Jesus knew that things were sometimes bad and sometimes sad. Jesus said that God sent him to open the way back to God's wonderful place, where the world would be nothing bad and no one sad. People still didn't want to let God in. They didn't want to let God be in charge, so they decided to put Jesus up on a cross where he would die. It was the most bad thing that had ever happened. It was the most sad thing of all time. But Jesus had a plan. He always planned to die on the cross. What a strange plan. Why would God's Son plan to die? Whoa, look at this. On the cross, Jesus took our sin. All the bad things we do, all the sad things that they cause when we do bad things. Jesus took them all for us. And when he did, something amazing, astonishing, astounding happened. The curtain tore. God had ripped up the keep out sign. God's wonderful place is open again. Because Jesus died, we can go in. And after Jesus died, his friends put him in a tomb, and they were very sad. For 2 days, nothing happened. And then the next morning, Jesus' friends came to see his body in the tomb, and it wasn't there. A little later, Jesus' friends were all together, and suddenly, Jesus was there, alive. Suddenly, his friends weren't sad. Now they were so happy. God had brought Jesus back to life so that they could live in God's wonderful place forever and ever. And Jesus has sent everyone an invitation to come and live with him there too. He tells us, God says it's a wonderful place to live with him. Because of your sin, you can't come in, but I died on the cross to take away your sin. So all my friends can come now. Come back in. Come in. We can live with God forever, and there will be nothing bad and no one sad. Come on, my friends. We will see God and speak to God and just enjoy being with God, just as he planned from the beginning. It will be wonderful to live with him, and it's all because of Jesus. We will say every day, thank you, King Jesus. You're amazing. And you can start saying that today. The end. Happy Easter, kids!